How's it going, everybody? This is going to be a quick video update on the Rhode v. Becerra case, also known as California's Ammo Day case, so let's talk about it. But real quick before we jump into this video, if you think that background checks to purchase ammunition violates the Second Amendment and is completely unconstitutional, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I want to give a big shout out to one of the sponsors of the channel, Franklin Armory. As many of you are familiar, Franklin Armory is an amazing company. They have 3 California compliant AR pistols that we here in the state of California can purchase, as well as they offer other products like the binary trigger that people in free states can go and purchase. So Franklin Armory is an amazing company. They do a lot of things to support us here in the state of California, but also firearms enthusiasts throughout the nation. So go over to Franklin Armory, show them support, and thank you, Franklin Armory, for sponsoring the channel. So Rhode v. Becerra, many of you are familiar with this case. It is one of those important California cases that has currently made its way up to the Ninth Circuit. It is one of those cases that was originally being heard by Judge Benitez in the lower court, in the district court, and Judge Benitez, being Saint Benitez, gave us a favorable ruling, finding that the ammo ban, the ammo restrictions, the restrictions on importation, as well as the requirements that you have to go through an eligibility check, also a simple background check is really what it was. He found that that is unconstitutional in California's requirement for us to go through a background check was unconstitutional, and also that it was unconstitutional for the California state laws to prohibit individuals or companies from selling directly to consumers. So Judge Benitez issued his ruling in the lower court. The AG's office, similar to what they've done in other cases, sought a stay from Judge Benitez, but in this specific case, he denied the stay. And so the reason why this is called Ammo Day, or the Ammo Day case, is because since Judge Benitez, denied that stay, we were able to go out and purchase ammunition. But what happened is the AG's office automatically went up to the Ninth Circuit and requested an emergency stay from the Ninth Circuit. And the Ninth Circuit, overnight issued the stay. So it put a complete halt on all the purchases. And really those purchases only got to happen for a single day. And so the Ninth Circuit issued the stay pending their decision and the 3-judge panel's review of the specific case. And so this case, like many others, had been on holding pattern because of what had gone on with the virus and all that stuff. But we actually got some news and some updates on this specific case. And actually what we got was the date in which there will be oral arguments being heard by the 3-judge panel on this specific case, Rhode v. Becerra. And so oral arguments will be heard November 9th, 2020. So that is the date to look out for the oral arguments on this specific case. A lot of you are familiar with the Duncan v. Becerra case. When the 3-judge panel held those oral arguments, it was held over telecommunication conference, and we were all able to watch. If you would like to do like a watch along or something like that, go ahead and write in the comment section if you'd be interested in that, where we can all just jump on like a YouTube live or something, and you guys can watch me watch the oral arguments, and we can kind of just discuss what's going on in the oral arguments. Maybe that's an option what we can do. But for those of you who are interested on the updates of what's going on with Rhode v. Becerra, that is the date we're looking at, is November 9th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. That is when they're going to hear the oral arguments. Also, along with the update on the oral arguments dates, the appellants, which is the AG's office in the state of California, they actually filed their reply brief. Now, I'm not going to go over what their reply brief said. Maybe if you guys have interest in that, I can do that. But essentially, it's exactly what you would expect them to argue, is that this ban does not violate the Constitution. It does not violate our Second Amendment rights. They actually argue that the plaintiffs or the appellees in this specific case were never harmed by the California's ammo ban or the background checks, because none of them put forward evidence that they specifically were prohibited from buying ammunition. So the AG's office is hanging their hat a lot on that. But they are completely ignoring all the statistics that show that it was like 16% of people who actually tried to go through the background checks were denied ammunition when they actually should have been permitted to buy ammunition, that they were not prohibited people. So it's just kind of interesting how the AG's office kind of twists the logic and the rationale and how this is up for public safety and all that nonsense. But if you'd be interested in reading that, I'll put a link to that actual reply brief down below as well. So like other cases here in California and in the Ninth Circuit, we are finally getting some movement because all the virus stuff is kind of starting to go away, and we are finally getting the courts to finally take some actions on these. So this is good news. We'll get oral arguments, and then like you guys saw in Duncan v. Becerra, we'll have to wait a while for them to actually issue their order, but we can actually probably gauge what they're going to decide based on the oral arguments. Like we saw in Duncan v. Becerra, it was very clear that 2 of the judges did not agree with California's ban. So when we watch this one, we will probably get a good sense of what exactly the 3-judge panel is going to rule. So that's just a quick update of everything that's going on. If you have any questions, go ahead and write down in the comment section below. Also, if you'd be interested in doing a live watch along of the oral arguments with me, go ahead and write in the comment section below as well if you'd be interested in that. If you found this video helpful and you'd like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is join the Patreon page, and I'll put a link to the Patreon page down in the details. Also, just like, commenting, subscribing, and make sure you hit the notification bell because that all helps the channel analytics, helps us spread the word about the Second Amendment, and helps spread the word about what's going on with California gun rights. So as always, thanks you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.